This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
What's going on, Real MVPs? Welcome inside another edition of Fully Loaded. Here, I'm Brandon Swanson. Across the table from me is Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys? I already did this once. Let's do it again.
Doing it again. Well, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, please become a patron today. You can do it for just $1. Head over to patreon.com/most valuable podcast, and you can, again, become a patron for just $1, or you can go to $10, or if you go to 100 or 10,000 or whatever you want to do. But we would very much appreciate it.
If we had a $10,000 patron, I would give you a big fat kiss. I'd give you a big fat kiss. I don't know if you'd want to pay $10,000 for that.
And I don't think they would want the kiss, though, at that point. I don't think they'd want it.
My mother doesn't even want the kiss, Brandon. That's what it says about me.
Oh, no. But anyway, so we had originally recorded a podcast and a segment that talked about, is Mookie Betts going to be traded? Is he going to the Dodgers? Is he going to the Padres? We had to scrap that because we got live breaking news as we were finishing our final segment that Mookie Betts had indeed been traded tonight while we're recording to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And not only was Mookie Betts being traded to the Dodgers, it wasn't just Red Sox Dodgers, it was Red Sox Dodgers mystery team that turns out to be the Twins. And then if you thought that was a lot, it's still not done. Also, you end up having a side deal that the Dodgers are like, you know what, this is so much fun, let's trade another. So they end up trading Jock Peterson for a prospect over with the Los Angeles Angels, and that's all. But that is now what we are going to be talking about. And I have to give it up to Ricky Widmer, who is going to do an outstanding job of putting this all together in a very pretty package in the editing room. So a big thank you to Ricky there. They struck lightning in a bottle. That's for sure. And I don't know if that happens again for him this year. Who scored a touchdown?
Breaking news. Mookie Betts and David Price are Dodgers.
Wow.
Our Dodgers.
Yeah.
Via Twitter, Jeff Passan, breaking. The Los Angeles Dodgers have agreed to deal with the Boston Red Sox that would send star Mookie Betts and starter David Price to the Dodgers. Sources familiar with the deal tell ESPN. Deal is pending medical reviews. That was dropped by Sam in Twitch chat just now.
Wow,
so
how about
Mookie Betts is a Dodger. Here's what I say we do. Finish this out, do a quick reaction to that, and I will clip our reaction to the beginning of the Mookie Betts talk, or that now makes our Mookie Betts talk useless, doesn't it?
That hurts a little bit, but
now we have to do it. We have to redo a segment, Brandon. We have to give a reaction. It's not going to be as long as the first topic.
No, it definitely won't. So I'll wrap this one up,
and then we'll talk about the trade.
I have nothing else to add to this one, Ricky.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the Nationals for this year?
I'll say they don't make the playoffs. I talked myself out of them making the playoffs.
Okay. Very good. Well,
Soapy said he also DM'd me a tweet. We'll see what that is.
So now want to roll right into a reaction?
You, Soapy.
You want to just roll right into reaction?
I feel
then?
like we have to react to it.
Okay, so Ricky, as you said, breaking news, Red Sox agree to a trade. They're trading Mookie Betts and David Price to the Dodgers. Jeff Passan says that. And nothing yet, though, on the side of the Dodgers who they're giving up in return.
No, I'll look at it. I'll try to find it. The tweet that we have, Sam dropped it in Discord. Soapy also DM'd it to me on Twitter. Jeff Passan, breaking, the Los Angeles Dodgers have agreed to a deal with the Boston Red Sox that would send star outfielder Mookie Betts and starter David Price to the Dodgers. Sources familiar with the deal tell ESPN. The deal is pending medical review. So I'm going to try to see if there's actual details on what the Dodgers are sending over. But this is, I'll say this because we're probably going to nix our entire discussion of it. For those of you who saw it live, it was great, but YouTube will never be able to see it. They're going to see this, obviously. This is what we thought would happen. Like, we talked about the Padres, we talked about the Braves, but we knew in the end that it was going to be the Dodgers to get it done. So for me, there's no surprise that it happened. I'm just surprised that it happened right now as we are talking about this live on the podcast.
So then, Ricky, my question is, now does J.D. Martinez, who has been the DH, does he become the full-time right fielder? Mitch Moreland stays the full-time first baseman, and Michael Chavis becomes the full-time DH.
You're talking about for the
Red Sox.
For the Red Sox.
Now that there's no Mookie Betts, Martinez full-time right fielder, Moreland full-time first baseman, and Michael Chavis, who really had a breakout year last year, he can play first, second, third. Does he become the full-time DH then? Or does Mitch Moreland become the full-time D? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say Martinez becomes the right fielder because if you look at their depth chart, he is listed as the number 2 for left and right. So I think your outfield now for the Red Sox is Benintendi in left, Bradley Jr. in center, and then now Martinez in right. And then now it's just what do you do with that? What do you do with that DH position?
But also we have to remember we don't know who's coming over.
Yeah,
we don't know who's coming over.
If it's
to Boston.
a Jock Peterson, then Jock Peterson's in right. JD can stay in the.
And again, we're going based off of what we've seen from the breaking news that Mookie Betts is now going to the Dodgers, and we do not know any information on who the Dodgers are sending back to the Red Sox because Jeff Passan hasn't put that out there yet.
I'm going to see if like Ken Rosenthal or anyone did, because there's literally no articles about it right now. Everything's all the speculation stuff. Let's see. Ken Rosenthal said both Mookie Betts and David Price would head to Los Angeles if the Red Sox and Dodgers complete their blockbuster. Sources tell The Athletic. Alex Verdugo would be the centerpiece for Boston. Deal could be in place tonight. Would require completion of medical reviews. So at least Rosenthal giving us that. So it looks like it could be the deal we talked about where here's some prospects. Here's Alex Verdugo coming over for the Red Sox, which would help them. I'm trying to think. Verdugo's not an outfielder, though. Is he?
I want to say that he is, but I believe he is.
He is. He's a left and center. So do they put Verdugo in right then? Do they move Benintendi to right because Benintendi?
But I was going to say, so Benintendi, could they move Jackie Bradley over to right field?
And put Verdugo or Benintendi?
Put Verdugo maybe in left, Verdugo in center. Benintendi stays in left. Jackie Bradley, I think I've only ever seen him playing center field. So I'm not sure on that one, but I think this is such a great move though for LA. I mean, they are now you have Bellinger and Betts in the same frickin' lineup.
So here's the thing that
along with Turner.
Like think about this though. Here's their outfield. You ready for this?
Yeah.
So right now, as it stands, their depth chart, the Dodgers, Bellinger's in center, Jock Peterson's in right, A.J. Pollock is in left. We don't know if A.J. Pollock, he was one that was in other deals. He could be included in the deal. But they also have, he's also backup shortstop, but they have Chris Taylor as well. So you've got Chris Taylor out there. Now you have Mookie Betts, who obviously I think your lineup is basically Jock in right, Bellinger in center, Mookie takes over for left, and if A.J. Pollock's not in the deal, he's going to be the backup outfield now. But just even the rotation, too. Who do you, like, in my mind, dumb question. You move Alex Wood. Wood now becomes your long relief / sixth starter if you need him. Here's your starting rotation. Here's the 6 starting pitchers they now have on their roster, Brandon. Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw, Maeda, Urias, Wood, David Price. The Dodgers, to me, if they weren't the favorite already to win the World Series, if they weren't the favorite already to go to the World Series, they are now.
I think that has made them the favorite over the Yankees.
Yeah, like
to win the World Series, I think that may almost make them the favorite to win the World Series over the Yankees.
This is the bigger part of this is the Dodgers, and this is exactly like now talking about, and I'm gonna reference what we talked about in the last segment. This is going to be. This is it. Like, this is the thing where if the Nationals play the Dodgers again, good fucking luck. Good luck beating them in a 5-game series now that they got David Price and Mookie Betts. Good luck.
The Dodgers are going to beat many, many teams this year.
Do they have more than 106 wins?
I was just going to say, do you think they have more wins than last year?
I do think that. Oh, that's why I asked the question. I beat you to it. Boss Bar in Twitch chat obviously has some stuff to play. Sam says Alex Verdugo. Verdugo's an outfield, can play outfield spots. Verdugo mostly played center with the Dodgers. So maybe they move Jackie Bradley over to right. Maybe they put Verdugo in center. Boss Bar says Peterson plays left. So they would move Jock over to left. Mookie would be in right. And then he said, Wood said that he wouldn't have come to the Dodgers if he weren't a starter. So that is going to be, that's going to be interesting then. So who's the guy that you bump out of that rotation? Is David Price not in the rotation? Or did you just add him for a long relief bullpen arm? A guy that, spot guy in the playoff in case you need like a longer arm? Like, What's the play? Like, that's the thing with me. What's the play? Because now you've got 6 starters for the Dodgers, which isn't a bad thing.
Here's the thing, though, is that Julio Urias has had his ups and downs with the Dodgers, let's say. So there has been some times where I think he's needed to work on some things. He's been up and down from majors and minors, and, still young. But he may be a guy that I could see them possibly bump to the bullpen, if he needs to work on anything, and then you have Price.
We've got another challenger approaches. It's a 3-team trade. The Twins are being added to the trade. So it's going to be a 3-team trade between the Red Sox, Dodgers, and Twins. That's what Twitter's saying right now.
Wow.
And I had to double check it on Twitter because Boss Bar said Twins are confirmed 3rd team, and that's what Twitter is saying right now. So it's going to be a 3-team trade. Ken Rosenthal said seconds later, involvement of a 3rd team also possible. Sources tell The Athletic again, Betts and Price would be going to the Dodgers, Alex Verdugo and others to Boston.
So I'm seeing this from Ken Rosenthal. Jock Peterson would go from the Dodgers to the Angels if Blockbuster is completed, sources tell The Athletic. So who all is in this? Are the White Sox in this? They get anybody?
Chris Bryant getting traded tonight as a part of this deal?
Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah, I see that too. Jock Peterson. So now that changes the outfield thing. Rosenthal also said significant cash would go from Red Sox to Dodgers in Betts' Price deal as well. Betts owed $27 million this year. Price owed $96 million over the next 3 years. So that completely changes, though, what we had said, where Chuck Peterson's not on this team. He's going to be in the Angels, which completely goes with what I said about the Angels earlier. They could be a team that kind of steps up this year. Adding a Jock Peterson along with Anthony Rendon does that for them. But, God, let's pull up that depth chart really quick for so what's the outfield then for the Dodgers if Jock Peterson is getting moved. Betts is in right. Bellinger's in center. You're losing Verdugo and Jock Peterson in this deal?
So then Pollock stays in left.
Okay, so it's just Pollock's in left then? Unless, and I don't think Pollock would get moved if you're getting rid of Jock Peterson and Alex Verdugo. Yeah, Ken Rosenthal hasn't said anything else. I'm just refreshing my Twitter religiously right now.
Okay, yeah, same. I'm doing the exact same. But it says Twins are indeed involved in this Betts deal as third team in. Likely involves pitching. But then
who would they give up pitching-wise?
This just in. Outfielder, you already said it, I think, that Alex Verdugo will be the centerpiece of the package headed back to Boston. Nothing else. Man, we're probably so boring for the people watching this. But
this is the best. This is a live reaction on Twitch. If you're watching this on YouTube, you could have been watching this live.
But I want to know, who the heck is John Heyman getting his info from? Because he's saying that the Twins are indeed involved. So we got a 4-team trade?
Yeah, as Boss Bar said, Boss Bar said 2 reporters are now saying that the Twins. And then Boss Bar said, okay, this is confusing. Unless the Dodgers are doing this, unless they're making a separate deal with the Angels to free up some money because of the cash that's coming in. And Boss Bar just said that. So it's 2 separate deals. So the Jock Peterson to the Angels is its own deal. The Twins are on the Mookie Betts deal. Because I'm assuming that the pitching from the Twins would be going to the Red Sox to supplement what they are giving up in Betts and David Price. What are you looking at?
I'm
trying to read the reaction if anyone posted anything on Twitter.
I'm just trying to
the reaction from your face.
Just trying to update everything. Let's see. Anything else?
Yeah, a lot of reaction from happy Dodger fans, obviously. They get both Betts and Price in this one. Oh, no. Okay, I thought that was it. Yeah, everyone right now, the news right now is just that the Twins are involved, but we don't have exactly what's going on. So we'll have to see what that is. But no, this is huge. Like this, we mentioned seconds ago that the Dodgers now are clearly favorites. Where do the Red Sox from here? This is just a retool. Are they going? I say retooling because we're in Chicago. They're going rebuild, right? With this, because they're selling Betts and Price.
No.
Or is this a reload?
They're not going rebuild.
Or is this a reload?
I don't think that losing David Price is a great loss in the eyes of the Red Sox.
But losing Mookie Betts is?
Remember when they have Benintendi and they have, let's see, JD Martinez and they have...
Because they finished third in the AL Central last year.
They're not in the AL Central.
Or AL East is what I meant. I'm looking at Twitch chat and I saw AL Central.
That when you have the talent they do, and the reason why they finished third is because they had just a down year. They had injuries. Chris Sale was not right for a good part of the season. I think that was just a down year for the Red Sox. They bounced back. You can't not bounce back with the talent they had. They add Verdugo, who is going to be a great player, and I think that this team is going to be bouncing back this season. It's not a rebuild. It's not a retool.
Okay.
It's a reload for the Boston Red Sox. That's what I think.
Yeah, and right now, nothing. So what we do know right now, and Boss Bar even says it, also confirmed that the Dodgers are taking other half of Price's contract, which we did talk about earlier on. So here's what we know, kind of to put a little, let's say, organism or organization to this. We reacted to the Dodger part. They're clearly, in my mind, the leader to win the NL. They're now probably the clear leader to win maybe the World Series with Mookie Betts and David Price. The Red Sox, we talked about them. Their biggest question is now, where do you put JD Martinez? Do you move him out of the DH? Verdugo coming in? How do they put their outfield? The question I want to ask you is about the Angels. Is you mentioned the Rangers in your teams that could step up. I mentioned the Angels. Now getting Jock Peterson, now getting Anthony Rendon. Is this now a team with Joe Maddon at the helm? Is Rendon and Jock Peterson enough to propel the Angels to a possible wild card team in the American League? They were a 72-win team last year, and they still got Mike Trout, the best player in baseball.
I think that I don't want to say that they're enough to possibly like win a World Series, but I do think that they are enough to get them over the hump to be better from what they were last year. 72 wins, I think, is all that the Angels had last year. I think those two players alone are going to provide, I think probably a solid 7 more wins at least. I think that, they would have to. Rendon is going to add a whole lot to that infield, and Jock Peterson can bring a lot of power to a lineup as well. The Angels are already looking like a better team for this next season, and that should be exciting for Angels fans.
Because, that's the thing. You say 7 wins, and if we do the math there, they're just getting to 80 wins. The A's last year were a 97-win team, but also the other thing is I'm not looking up, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, for what was the head-to-head between the A's and the Angels last year. Do those games now flip, which would take some wins away from the A's and add them to the Angels? You could look at it with having Rendon and Peterson, where I think the AL West, especially the number 2 spot, just got a lot more interesting with Jock Peterson going over to the Angels today.
I agree. I think that the Angels are going to be a lot more competitive with all of their divisional games for sure. Not just the divisional games, but I think that if you can win those division games and you can be good in your division, there's a good chance that you're going to be competing late into the season for something, for a possible trip to the postseason. So I think that the Angels could definitely be doing that this year because they're going to be a lot more competitive.
So going into Twitch chat a little bit here, Boss Bar, who's been kind of our Dodger guy all podcast, he says it looks like Maeda has been traded. Yeah, and this is from Bob Nightingale. This is Bob Nightingale from USA Today. He put out a tweet about 2 minutes ago that said David Price will be staying put with the Dodgers, but Kenta Maeda may be on the move. So that answers our rotation question of who do you move on from. David Price would be taking Maeda's spot, but the question is, where would he be going? Boss Bar also says, Joel Sherman has reported that Dustin May has been traded. So Dustin May, second baseman, I believe, with the Dodgers, is on the move as well. The only hard thing about this, reacting live, is we don't have the production team of MLB Network. So obviously we're trying to do 2 jobs here of trying to find everything else. Twitch chat, I got to give the real MVPs for them to be working with us so that you and I can talk about this and make this an actual watchable segment from our analyst standpoint. But we're trying to do 2 jobs at once. And then obviously there's not a lot of details right now. Nobody knows a lot of things, but Sam has a good question, and I want to throw this your way.
Yeah.
what are the Twins getting from this blockbuster trade? Because we know you said earlier that pitching might be on the move. Are they the ones getting Kenta Maeda? They would have to, right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Like, would the way I'm thinking is it's something like, so here's what I'm thinking. Maybe, and this is me all speculation, it could come out in like doing this in 2 seconds. And Sam, I'm glad that you think it's fun doing this live. I am having a blast right now with this live news. But here's what I'm thinking, and you tell me if this sounds crazy. So the Dodgers, all they get is Mookie Betts and David Price. They are going to send Verdugo to the Red Sox. And I feel like the Red Sox might not have wanted either. I'm going to say that the Dodgers didn't want to give up pitching prospects. So the Dodgers didn't want to give up a Josiah Gray. They didn't want to give up a Gonsolin, to where they needed a third team to give up pitching to satisfy the Red Sox. I think that's where the Twins come in, where pitching prospects from the Twins are going to go over to the Red Sox to complete that part. And in return, because the Dodgers then have 6 starters, they're going to send Kenta Maeda over to the Twins, which would make their rotation
Yep, here it is.
Berrios or Odorizzi, and then Maeda is their number 3.
Dodgers sending 31 seconds, it looks like. Ken Rosenthal. Dodgers sending right-handed pitcher Kenta Maeda to the Minnesota Twins for right-handed pitcher Brusdar Graterol, who will be part of the package going to the Red Sox, source tells The Athletic.
And the YouTube comment section said I didn't know how to talk baseball because of farm systems. I just basically pinpointed that trade before Ken Rosenthal even put it out, which I do find one of the big reactions on Twitter, and I know you don't care about this, but it's still funny. The NBA trade deadline is Thursday, and a lot of people are like, it's not an NBA trade, but I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Trade.
I saw that.
So Kenta Maeda is going to Minnesota. The prospect then that they get from the only one prospect, which is interesting. Which I'll ask you this: does this change your mood on the Twins? You said they'll take a step back. Does Kenta Maeda help them a huge lot?
He's not hitting.
No,
so
but he's helping out that pitching.
They're still taking a step back.
He's now their number 3.
They're still taking a step back, but I'm not going to enjoy having to face him.
He's now their number 3, right? It's Berrios, Odorizzi, and then Maeda, right? Would be their 1, 2, 3?
Most likely.
Okay, because they also got like Homer Bailey, Dubernach, Pineda, Rich Hill. Like I said, they suck. But Rich Hill's really old.
Yeah, most likely that's what it would be. But I think we're finally
kind of settled here.
Getting this settled, yeah.
Yeah, so
wow.
Kind of last reactions before, and you and I are going to have to kind of mix things up a little bit. I'm going to have to do some editing tonight with this and kind of make it all kind of fit in place.
Yeah, it's not going to flow, but
let's do this. Last reactions, each team that's a part of what they got. First off, the Dodgers. I'll go first with them. They're favorites to win the World Series. That's clear and simple in my mind. Mookie Betts gives them an added bat. I don't want to freaking face that lineup now. If I'm thinking playoffs. I'm not even thinking regular season playoffs. I'm thinking playoffs. Muncy, Seager, Turner, Bellinger, Mookie Betts. Now, yeah, you lose Jock Peterson. Basically, it's a Peterson for Betts swap there, but I don't want to face that lineup, and especially their pitching. You can say that maybe David Price is a drop-off, but maybe change of scenery is nice for him. He adds playoff experience. They don't take a step back when it comes to their rotation, even with giving up Maeda. So for me, it's the Dodgers. Like, they are the favorite now to win the World Series, especially from the NL side. What are your thoughts on the Dodgers?
I think that the Dodgers just got a lot better tonight, and they were already really good. I just think that the more people that you can put in that lineup to go around, Bellinger, Turner, it would have been Jack Peterson, but I think that even a guy like AJ Pollock, can swing a pretty hot bat, and you just look at those couple of guys right there, and that is a very, very dangerous lineup, and tough people, and then you put why can't I think of his name? Shortstop. Seager. You put Seager in there too. A healthy Seager. That's another guy who's going to be dangerous for them. The Dodgers are a very, very good team, and they just got better tonight.
Red Sox. They add the pitching. I think it's a pitching prospect, right? Bruce Starr, is he a pitching prospect, right-handed, or is he on their major league roster? But they get a pitcher from the Twins. They obviously get Alex Verdugo from the Dodgers. What's your thought on that? Like, the Red Sox part of this deal, I still don't completely know how I feel about it. It's going to be interesting to see what exactly they're getting prospect-wise, because they got to be getting more than just a right-handed pitcher and Verdugo for Mookie Betts. But what's your thought right now for what the Red Sox got for Betts and Price?
So I think that you look at this, and I think some people would think, man, yeah, the Red Sox are, they're selling off. Why would they get rid of Mookie Betts and David Price and stuff like that? I think David Price, he's getting a little long in the tooth. I think that getting rid of him and his contract, I think, makes a lot of sense. I think with Mookie Betts, it was one of those, striking while the iron is hot, and I'm not going to ever stop using that now because
it's our podcast thing. Striking while the iron is hot,
and I think that's what they did, and I think that they have seen, obviously the centerpiece of that deal was Verdugo from LA, and I think they believe they're getting maybe not Mookie Betts back, but I think they believe they're getting even a younger guy back who can continue to be good in this outfield and continue to be very productive for them. But the way that I would look at it is being able to, I don't know, shed some salary and some contracts that now gives them maybe an opportunity to do some more spending when it comes to the trade deadline of possibly people that they then will bring on and bring in, and they'll have a little bit more flexibility to do that.
And before I give my thought, Boss Bar says Graterol, I hope I'm saying that right, the pitcher that they got from the Twins virtually was the Twins' third best prospect and is the 53rd ranked prospect overall in the MLB. So he's highly touted. So they got a almost top 50 MLB prospect. They get Verdugo. The thing that and all these details will obviously come out after we're reacting to this live. Twitch.tv/Most Valuable Podcast. I wonder if when it came to the Dodgers and the Red Sox, if the Dodgers gave the Red Sox an ultimatum and said, all right, here's how the deal can work. You can either get prospects from us, the Josiah Grays, the Gonsolin, Jeter, I can't remember his last name. Boss Bar, help me out. From the Dodgers. You can get those guys, but we're not paying for David Price.
Absolutely.
Or you can take Verdugo and then the pitching prospect we're getting from the Twins, and we'll pay for half of Price's contract, which might have put the Red Sox in between a rock and a hard place where they were like, well, we want you to pay for Price, and we need that cash kind of leeway. We need help with that.
I just want to tell you,
Go ahead.
John Heyman and I said this before I even saw his tweet. It was literally 57 seconds ago.
Go ahead.
Dodgers have killer lineup, amazing outfield. Red Sox not only go under the threshold, they go way under the threshold. More important to them, they gain flexibility.
Yeah,
so that
that's
was the reason for this trade.
We don't
for
care
the
about
Boston Red
prospects.
Sox.
Like, they got one that they like, and like Boss Bar says that the guy they got, Jeter Downs, I was thinking of. He says that the guy they got from the Twins is higher rated than Josiah Gray, who they could have got from the Dodgers. But yes, they don't get a lot of prospects, but they get a lot of like, okay, we're under that luxury cap, and now we've got flexibility to do things.
And I don't think that you're going to look at, for Mookie Betts, yes, he leaves. That's a big drop off in production, especially when you look back to, what was it, 2-3 seasons ago, where Mookie Betts was unstoppable. But this Boston lineup is still so dangerous.
Yep.
It's still so dangerous. And they are still so good, and the pitching rotation is still so good, even without David Price.
Well, and the thing you also have to look at, too, is like, now what they can do with this flexibility is they've got guys like third baseman Devers, who he's arbitration after this year. They can maybe use some of that money to give him a contract, lock him down. You've got guys like Benintendi, who after this year go into year 2 of arbitration. They can maybe lock Benintendi down for a longer contract. They can use this room that we're talking about. They don't have to just use it for trade. They don't need to just use it to get free agents. They can use it to make sure the guys that they have, the guys that they want to keep now, they can lock them down on deals so that they can basically keep some guys happy. Like, David Price is old and wasn't a part of the plan anymore. We can get rid of him, free up some money, and then lock down some of these guys that we want to keep long term so that we don't lose them after their arbitration comes up. Boss Bar also says Verdugo was once the Dodgers' top prospect. He is an on-base machine who plays elite defense. Plus, he has 5 years left of control, and that is huge. They get a guy that they now have for 5 years on top of everybody else that they already kind of have to work with the control of what they got. Last 2 teams we'll obviously got to throw out there is we did Final Thoughts Dodgers, Final Thoughts Red Sox, Twins. They get Maeda, kind of a little bit of an upgrade. They give up a prospect. They get a guy that can help them on their major league roster.
So I think that, with Kenta Maeda, I think that's a really good move for the Minnesota Twins to have a third guy there in the starting rotation. And Kenta Maeda, he's been very, very good with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I would, again, make the same argument and case for, like I did with Ryu, going from, National League to American League. How's Maeda going to be, with an American League team after spending the time with a National League team? A lot of times that doesn't even end up making a difference, but there are some guys it makes a difference. So, in pitching, he is going to be in a more, I believe, pitcher-friendly ballpark. Is Target Field a little bit more pitcher-friendly? I mean,
the Twins hit a lot of home runs.
They do hit a lot of home runs.
I'd say it's more batter-friendly, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's more batter-friendly.
Yeah, they do hit a lot of home runs. I thought that's just because the balls were all juiced for him last year. But
no, that's Colorado.
I don't know. Who even gives a crap? But at the end of the day, it's a great move for the Twins. They get Maeda. They get another good pitcher. That's all that matters. I'm gonna frickin' not enjoy when the White Sox have to face him. That's all I think about it.
By the numbers, out of 261 BA and 400. No, Bleacher Report did an article this is 2014, but still, ballparks don't change much over the years. Let's see what they have down for Target Field. Target Field is 8th on this list. In that year, you had, let's see, yeah, it's super hitter friendly.
Okay.
Especially from a home run standpoint. Yeah, because the dimensions are, you've got in...
You don't really need to go through the dimensions.
Oh, no. I will. I want to. Because in left field, you've got 339 with the power alley being a straightaway of 377. Right field's a 328, so it's a little shorter in the corner. Power alley of 367, so it's shorter in right. And then it's 404 to deep center field. So I would say tied 8th for friendly ballparks. Coors Field obviously being number 1 because they juice the balls.
Then I would say even more so then, how will he fare in a very hitter-friendly ballpark
because I believe
like Minnesota?
The Dodgers was more pitcher. No. Were they more hitter-friendly? Because the walls aren't that tall in Dodger Park. Boss Bar helped me out. And then the last team wasn't a part of this deal, but they made a separate deal. Jock Peterson over to the
Jock Peterson's going over to the Angels, and infielder Luis Rengifo is headed to the Dodgers in a deal for Peterson. And Luis Rengifo, I think I'm saying that right. Rengifo. I apologize. Don't know, but he's the Angels' number 2 prospect, and I believe. So he's a switch hitter. He is.
Why did they do that? Are they doing that to free up money? Question mark. Because like even Boss Bar said he read the same thing you did. The Peterson for Rengifo, and he goes, I'm not happy about that. Like, why did the Dodgers give up Jock Peterson?
So these are the comments under this tweet. What? Whatever. Stop. WTF. Oh, no. What? Bruh. Passing bomb. So most people don't like it. Out of those tweets,
seems weird.
People are not a fan. But all I have to say again is the Dodgers raked tonight. They absolutely raked tonight. They got Price, Betts, and this prospect from the Angels.
I mean,
they had an outstanding evening. Great trades by the Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think why they would. I'm trying to think of why they would give up Jock Peterson for just that now, because we were talking before we even knew that would happen of like, an outfield of Betts in right, Bellinger in center, Jock Peterson in left, unless they feel like. I don't know. Unless they feel like I don't think you're gonna have like Matt Beattie or Chris Taylor out there. Pollock is still probably your starter, unless I'm trying to think here. Mookie Betts is a right-hander, left-hander. Let's see really quick. So yeah, Mookie Betts is a right-hander. Jock is. Where's that lineup? I just had that freaking lineup here. Yeah, Jock's a left-hander. So, like, why would you... I don't get it. That confuses me of why that's all they've got for Jock. Because there have been even articles written, like, I know we talked about it on Superfans, where Jock Peterson to the White Sox, where White Sox offers would have gotten them more. Is it a money thing? Is that why they move on from Jock right now, rather than play it out with him, Betts, and Bellinger in the outfield?
You know what? I'm not quite sure. I do not know the answer on that one. But it did seem like the Dodgers looked at Jock Peterson as being expendable. He had been a guy who had been very expendable for them. I am interested in Maeda though. I'm interested that they get rid of Maeda. I mean, I still think they had a great night, but I think that I'm interested they get rid of Maeda. Yes, they bring over Price, but you lose Ryu in the offseason. Now Maeda. Now you've got Buehler, Kershaw, Price, and then the rest of the guys. But but you're not even. I'm looking at Price, but I think people when they think David, you got David Price.
You're thinking
this isn't
Tigers
David
Price.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't the Rays David Price or the Tigers David Price. I mean, he's not in his prime anymore. And I think that I know that the Dodgers know that.
I'm gonna make an analogy here. You know what? The best if David Price, how do I phrase this? The best version of David Price that you can expect from this team, for it to be like, oh, I'd be happy with that. Think John Lackey on the Cubs when we went World Series. Guy who has the playoff experience, in his prime was phenomenal, was an ace for his team, but can help out the back of that rotation, a 4-5 guy. Where maybe you've got Urias, who's I'm probably saying that wrong. The Urias.
I believe it's Julio Urias.
Urias. He's maybe then your third because he's still a young kid. Throw him there as third, and then basically Alex Wood and Price kind of have them 4-5, however you want to put them. But because Lackey for us was our 5 guy. He was our 5 guy, and then in the playoffs it was Lester Arrieta or Lester Kendricks Arrieta. Lackey was the first guy off the bench for us when we really needed that 4th starter in the playoffs. That's what David Price could be. Or if it's like, oh, Kershaw, we're going late, I need someone to come in. Maybe they have more. Maybe Dave Roberts has more confidence in a David Price than he does with a Maeda, because of last year, the whole thing of he didn't pull Kershaw for Maeda. Anything in Twitch chat? The one thing I did want to say from Boss Bar about the Dodgers, he says, literally makes no sense. This is the Jock Peterson part, largely because Pollock has too much of an ego to platoon and wants to be an everyday player. Would have been a perfect platoon between Jock, who smashes righties, and Pollock, who rakes against lefties. So, kind of like what we were thinking. Mookie in right, Bellinger in left, and then you play the matchup in left field. If it's a right-handed pitcher,
Bellinger in center.
In center. And then Jock or Pollock, depending on if you're going up against a righty or a lefty. But like Boss Bar, maybe Pollock had too much of an ego and was like, no, I don't want that noise. I don't want to be a platoon. I'm an everyday player, which I'm the kind of guy where I'm the manager, where it's like kind of like do as you're told. I put you in a position, you play that position. I make the shots, not you. But I know I'm a little bit old school in that regard. Well, Ken Rosenthal also put out a thing that said Mookie Betts wants to be a free agent, and that is why the Red Sox did this. So this could even be a rental for the Dodgers, a 1-year rental.
A full 1-year rental.
Before Mookie Betts becomes a free agent.